How long is this gonna keep us going on? Is this gonna take us long? Why am I singing a song? There's a reason, I swear. I'll get to it in a moment. Welcome to the live stream, everybody. Happy Friday. It's the month of Fridays here in April, where I'm going live every single Friday, whether you like it or not, but I'm glad to have you here with me. Just give me a moment while I get all set up, and then I will explain why I was singing a song at the beginning of this broadcast, because it actually is a YouTube thing I want to teach everybody about. So I'm just going to get myself set up here, and then we're going to dive right into it. Going to start off talking about... I forgot to get the URL again. Oh, wait, no, hold on. I still have the window open. Okay, cool. Just doing some social sharing. Well, get things set up. I've got chat up here. Now I just got to tell the world about the broadcast, because I'm not sure that anybody's watching yet. So y'all missed my singing, which is probably for the best. How long is this gonna take us going on? Is this gonna take us long? Does anybody know this song? Are you familiar with this? It's pretty repetitive in parts, but I like it quite a bit. It's by a band that was formed right here in Vancouver, BC, Canada, on the west coast of North America. How long is this gonna take us going on? Is this gonna take us long? I had it stuck in my head for like a day now. Why? The song is called Shotgun, and it's by a group called Moist. They're an interesting story. Back in the 90s, they were a band. They wanted to get, big on Canada's equivalent to MTV called Much Music. So they borrowed a bit of money from the bank. I forget how much, 100,000, a little less maybe, 10,000. I forget the exact dollar figure. And they basically just shot a video in their basement, and it blew up. And their album, I went and picked it up on Boxing Day. That's the day after Christmas, what we call it in Canada. And I liked it quite a bit. And then their second album came out, and I bought that too. And that album contained a song called Shotgun, which I have stuck in my head right now. Bit of an earworm, but there's a very specific reason. Let me just get the sharing done, and I will tell you why. Why am I on about this completely random nonsense song from the 90s? Is anybody here? Chat is empty. Nobody talking. What if you were to go live and no one was to tune in? What would you do then? That's part of why I've never gone live on Vacation Impossible. Achilles is here during your break. That's funny. Welcome to the... Well, I'm glad you're here. How's my audio? You can help me with my audio test. Does everything sound all right? Where are all the people? People have lives on Fridays? People at work? Well, they should be on the East Coast. It's 1 p.m. Sounds good. Thank you. It's 1 p.m. on the West Coast, so it should be 4 p.m. on the East Coast. Folks should be out of school at least. And then, we're around the world. Huh. How's your day going, Achilles? Didn't see the post in the group. Okay. Let me check that. Small YouTubers boost. Search the word live, and then I'll filter it by most recent. 2 minutes ago. Yeah, no, should be there. Live discussing YouTube with channel reviews, tutorials, and your Q&A. Make sure the link works. Yeah, no, it's working. It's just you and me, Achilles. That's bizarre. Normally, these live streams often get 40-odd people watching it. So, yeah, it keeps showing popular, etc. Not sure exactly what that means. I could just vamp for a little bit while we wait for folks to show up. It's funny because people in the Facebook group, they're always asking, hey, can you review my channel? Can you help me out? And I say, tune in during my live stream. I'll be happy to do it. And yeah, here I am, just waiting to help people. And no one's here asking for help. That's an unexpected thing. I'm sure we'll probably get happening soon. I'm hoping to go live for a little less than 2 hours, but in the neighborhood of 2 hours. So hopefully that'll be good. And yeah. That is interesting. But I don't want to go too deep because see one other person right now. Hey, if you want help with your YouTube channel, speak up in chat. Now's a good time for it. Because I know Achilles won't be around for me to help him. And, you know, I message him on occasion. I try to help him when I can. So, actually, Fridays. Awesome. Welcome to the show. We have an audience. Okay, so I began by badly singing a song. Why was I singing a song? Well, a friend of mine recently messaged me and says, hey, do you know this song, Shotgun? And I'm like, oh, yeah, a song by Moist, right? And they're like, yeah, I want to use this song in a video. And I was like, no, don't do it. Don't do it. Content ID match. You'll never be able to monetize that thing. And they're like, well, I'm not monetized yet, so that doesn't matter. And I'm like, fine. But, and here's the thing that I'm concerned that not enough small YouTubers know about. Hi, Darbys Racing. I'm concerned that not enough YouTubers know that if you get a content ID match, it's not just about monetization. You can also have your video limited in where it's shown and on what devices. So let's say that the people who manage the band, in this case, you know, let's say Moist, this Canadian band, they decide, okay, we're going to go into the content ID system. We don't want to make people making money off our music. That's totally fair. But maybe they decide, for whatever reason, we don't want our music played on mobile devices because maybe that's a way that people can avoid buying the music or something, or for whatever reason they might have. So they might restrict your video so that it can't be watched on mobile. That's a little tricky because mobile's becoming huge. Or they could say, oh, no, okay, yeah, you can use our music, but your video can't be seen in Germany. That's actually happened to me on some of my videos. Before I had someone who was writing music for me, I just used whatever I had, and I was getting content ID matches all the time, and sometimes a video would just get straight up shut down. Hey, Peak Time Racing. Happy Friday. So sometimes the videos would just get shut down. Some would be prevented from being viewed anywhere in the world. And others would just get like, oh, you know, maybe the revenue goes to the artist, which, I mean, I'm all in favor of because I obviously like the music. Happy to support them that way. But how do you know? How can you know in advance? And I just realized I'm logged in under the wrong account, so let me just quickly hop over. Oh, wait, no, I should do this from this account. So anyways, so yeah, the question is, how do you know in advance if you're going to use a song you don't have the rights to? What's the cost? What's the risk? What's the penalty of that? Let me show you how right now in a live tutorial. So you're going to want to go into Creator Studio. We're going to go into the classic version because it's the one that I know. I'm not sure where or if this lives in the new version. And you're going to go down to Create and click that little tab there. And you'll notice there's Audio Library and Music Policies. Music Policies is where we're going to want to go. And this is where you can go search for your song. So in this case, the song Shotgun by Moist. So I'm going to search Moist Shotgun. And let's see what comes up. There's the song. Now, this is interesting. This will tell you what the current policies around that piece of music is. Now, one thing that I want to make abundantly clear before I even dive into this is these policies can change at any time and with no notice or warning to you. So, for example, I had on my Vacation Impossible channel, I had a video where I went parasailing in Mazatlan, which was amazeballs. But I did it with my GoPro on a wrist strap, and it's got Velcro on it, and so the sound was horrible because it was just the Velcro going the whole time. This was before I had someone writing music for me, so I needed to sub out the audio because the source audio was horrific. And so I had seen some other drone video on YouTube that was set to Shinedown. And so I was like, oh, okay, well, you know, second chances. So it's like, okay, well, that's fine. They obviously didn't get their video shut down, so I'll do the same thing. And so I was really happy with how it ended up. It was like a little music video. I absolutely adore that video. It's one of my favorite videos. And along comes a content ID match. Fair enough, that's to be expected. The content ID match shut the video down so nobody could view it. And I was like, well, what the hell? There's this other channel that is using that song. Maybe they had an arrangement. I don't know. And so that kind of sucked. And then a couple of months go by, and I get a notification on my phone in the Creator Studio app that somebody's commented on that video. How are they commenting on a video that can't be viewed anywhere in the world? The policy changed. And you only get the notification when it makes an initial content ID match. So their automated system comes along and listens to your thing and says, whoa, that's a song. Somebody's got the rights to that. They claim it. You get an email. And it's a very nice email because it starts off by saying like, hey, we've identified some copywritten content. Don't worry, it's not a strike, which is good. It's very important to understand the difference between a strike and a content ID match. Strike will shut your channel down. Content ID match might shut your video down. So very important to understand those two differences. And it says, you know, don't worry, you're not in trouble. And so I actually really appreciate that part of that email. Even though I know what it is, you know how policies can change. So every time I'm like, I just look for that phrase. I'm like, right, this is the one where I'm not in trouble. Whew. All right. So you get that initial notification, but then the policy can change. And when the policy changes, you don't get another notification. It doesn't tell you that what it's doing to or with that video has altered in some way. And so initially they shut it down. But then later it was like, oh no, it'll be viewable, but it won't be viewable in like Germany, and we want the ad revenue. And I'm like, hey, okay, fine. I mean, I wish the Germans could see it, but whatever. Take your ad revenue, that's fine. I'm just glad people can see that video again. Or for the first time, really. And so then, a couple months after that, I'm in some Facebook group, and someone says, hey, do you have any great parasailing videos? And I'm like, yeah, just the thing. I'm so happy. I want to share. So I go, and I'm going to get the URL to share it, and I realize, oh, no, wait, the policy's changed once again, and now it's back to being blocked worldwide, and no one can see it ever at all. And I'm like, oh. So my friend says, hey, I want to use the song Shotgun, and I'm like, don't do it, because this roller coaster sucks. You don't want to get on this roller coaster if you can avoid it. Now, understand that not everybody has someone writing music for them. There are free music options out there. I'm not an expert in such things just because I've got my guy Cam who writes my music for me. But, you know, I know that there's a lot of different options out there. I think there might be some free or discounted options through TubeBuddy. Link down below. Affiliate link. Video not sponsored. But I'm not an expert in that. Yeah, and he was like, oh, you know, I'm not monetized, so I don't care about that. And I'm like, no, dude, that's not the thing. I mean, that's part of it, because maybe you'll be monetized one day, maybe you'll care about that retroactively, but even putting all that aside, you're going to put some effort into making a video, editing it, whatever. And then it's possible you put all that effort in and it's possible that no one will ever see it. So how do you know in advance? You go to the create area, music policies, you search it, and it shows you 4 categories. So first is if you use the song, and so it's the playback on this song is blocked in 223 countries, and I'm pretty sure like it's not even displaying properly because it goes so far up from where you click the little information icon, so I can't see who above Kenya it's blocked in. So that sucks. You know, I mean, it's totally their right to do it. I don't dispute that. But if, you know, my friend were to use this song, there are 223 countries, which is almost all of them. And it's not everywhere because there's also a worldwide designator. If you look under if you perform a cover, playback viewable worldwide. So there are some countries it would be viewable in. For example, I don't see the United States here. So I think it would be viewable in the United States, but not in Qatar, for example. So that's kind of interesting. And then also there's talking about advertising. So ads can appear, but the copyright owner is likely going to collect the revenue rather than you, which is, you know, totally fair, and that's fine. And so the 4 categories is playback and advertising if you use the song, playback and advertising if you perform a cover. I really don't think me humming a few bars counts as a cover. There was no music. I was just making a point. If this gets content ID'd, at least it will still be viewable worldwide, unless they change the policy. If you watched my live stream on, I think it was like Christmas Eve or something, or a day or two before Christmas, the 23rd. I had actually started off, and I've got...
the mic's off.
The mic is off.
Turn it back on. Slide the switch on the back of Google Home.
Shut up. This is a chatty thing. So this is my Google Home Mini, and I've got the microphone off right now because I don't want to accidentally activate it. But I started off that live stream by basically going like, oh, hey, Google, please play some, what was it? I said, please play some public domain Christmas music. And I thought, because I asked public domain Christmas music, that I would not get a content ID match. So that'd be a nice way to start my pre-Christmas live stream. I got a content ID match so fast it would make your head shut up!
To turn it back on, slide the switch on the back of Google Home.
Are we done? I got a content ID match so fast it would make your head spin. And so it was the people who had actually done that particular performance. And so that's fine. The content ID match only made it so that, you know, ads might appear and the revenue goes to them. And that's fine. You know, one content ID match on this whole channel with like 82 odd videos, I'm not too concerned about. But I was a little disappointed because I thought I was being careful. I thought by asking for public domain, I would be okay. But no. So the only way you can know for sure is to check music policies, as I'm showing you here, but even that can change. So I just wanted to cover that because this friend of mine knows a lot about YouTube, but he didn't know that. There isn't even 233 countries. I don't see the Vatican on there. I like you guys. That's interesting. So it's probably okay to be played in the Vatican. You know, and I can't scroll up to see if Italy's on the list, but and so I'm curious how carefully the IP masking and resolution, or the IP resolving there is for that kind of stuff. But that's kind of interesting, I think. So, anyways, that was just a little topic I wanted to cover off the top. Let's see here. Oh yeah, Achilles was checking out Peak Time Racing, small YouTubers boost, bringing YouTubers together all across the province of British Columbia. Okay, so anyways, let's get into it. I know that Achilles Melee is he was just on his break at work, so not really much time, and I've helped him out in the past before. Just getting a comment on my video today from Vacation Impossible. It's very exciting. Oh, Stupid Robot Fighting League. Yeah, I already responded to that. He had a good idea for a video, and so I'm going to put it on my topic planner in my TubeBuddy app. TubeBuddy is also a mobile app, which is quite nice. You get the paid version, get unlimited use of the app for free, included with your subscription. And once again, TubeBuddy link is below in the description. So, Fridays. You're the second person to speak in chat. Friday's my special day. I like that. Is there anything I can do for you today? Would you like a channel review? Do you have a question? Would you like me to give you a tutorial for something, much like I just did with the music policy thing? Or do you just have sort of a generic question, what it's like to run a YouTube channel that's been monetized? What it's like to run a Facebook group with over now 81,000 people in it, which is amazing. Achilles actually found there's another copycat group out there pretending to be Small YouTubers Boost that I didn't know about. That was kind of funny. They even basically recreated our logo, so that kind of stuff sucks. Product placement. Vacation Impossible mug. I got that from my promo box with Vistaprint. I'll be having some news about that probably coming out on this channel tomorrow, so you want to subscribe to notifications on. So, yeah. Is my chat not updating? Or Fridays, are you here? I'm hoping to go for a while yet, at least maybe another hour and a half on this broadcast, so hopefully we've got lots of... When's my next vacation? My next vacation is in May. And I've got some cool stuff planned. So Mike is my partner in crime this time. On Vacation Impossible, we have like an ensemble with different people. And so this time it's Mike and I. We're driving down to Seattle. We're flying to LA. We're taking a cruise on the Carnival Imagination for 4 days, going to Catalina, Avalon Island, and Ensenada, Mexico. And then we're going to be spending 4 days in LA. Don't know what we're doing in LA yet. And then we're going to fly back to Seattle and then drive back to Vancouver. And I've got some cool stuff planned. There's actually an initiative I'm going to be launching in Small YouTubers Boost, the Facebook group. I don't want to talk about the details publicly yet because I want to figure out how it's going to work. But it's going to be a cool thing. I think that's going to help a lot of people, and a lot of people can get involved. I just want to get all the ducks in a row first. So we're going to be doing some prep for that, and also, because it's been requested of me, I'm going to be creating a Patreon for Vacation Impossible. And a requirement of having a Patreon is you have to have a video. And so one of the rules that I've created for Vacation Impossible is we only film on location. So we're going to be making our Patreon video on this trip. Not sure if we'll record in Mexico or California or what, but there we go. How's your growth? My growth has been pretty good. In fact, here, let me show you a thing, which is kind of cool. This is Socialblade. If you don't know about Socialblade, I recommend checking it out. It can provide a lot of useful information about channels, both yours and others. But if you look here, just drawing your attention to the subscriber situation. So if you see here on March 30th, I gained 1 subscriber. On March 31st, I didn't gain any. Late on March 31st, I made a channel trailer. And I'm actually really quite proud of it. It turned out very nicely. I've been putting it off for years because I was worried I would screw it up. But I think it came out quite good. And then look what happens to my subscriber growth starting on April 1st. Subscriber growth, 6, 5, 2, 4, 2, 2, 9, 8. 9 and 8, those were good days. I'm not saying that the channel trailer directly related to that, but it does seem a suspicious coincidence. I think that, and I mean, we would generally be getting 1 or 2 subscribers on average every other day, but this growth has been quite a lot, and so I think the channel trailer is really helping that growth, because in it we talk about why we do what we do, and we talk about what we do. And so instead of people having to poke around and watch a couple videos and try and figure it out and read the about page or whatever, I just spell it out for them in a quick video that's like less than a minute. And so I think that helps get people into it. So yeah, there you go. I'm guessing that Fridays isn't here anymore because they haven't responded to my request. Have I been on NCL? I haven't. I've been exclusive to Carnival. This is going to be my 21st cruise, so 21st with Carnival. And yeah, I've been pretty loyal. They've got the biggest fleet, so there's more sailings, and they're the cheapest. And I've known some people who've gone on other lines, and they said, like, oh, the fixtures were better, but the food was worse. Or, you know, oh, it wasn't fun. Which I'm like, wow, that's just dark. So I might try and crop out, you know, eventually, expand then. But yeah, I've just getting my 35 subscribers and 600 minutes viewed today. Sorry, Darby, are you saying you hit those milestones, or like you got 35 subscribers today? Because that is some awesome growth if you got 35 today. I think the most I've ever... I think I got like 26 in a day once, and that was an amazing day. And that was actually here on Small YouTubers Boost. It wasn't on Vacation Impossible. Darbys Racing looks like he was the third person in chat. Just seeing if you had a request in here. Does this work for videos as well? The policy thing, that's just music as far as I know. Yeah, using other videos is super problematic. For something like that, you're going to want to check what license is on the video, and if it's Creative Commons, you might be able to use it under certain circumstances, but I am not an expert in those things. Generally, my advice is like create your own stuff from scratch as much as possible. Let's see here. I would let you review my channel, but I'm only small and don't have many videos. I wouldn't want to bore you so soon in the stream. Well, that's very nice. Milestones. Yeah, that'd be awesome to get them in a day. That would be amazing. Because, like I said, I haven't even gotten that in a day. I don't know, Darby. I mean, I'm happy to look at a small channel. I can do like a light touch if you'd like. I don't like the idea in you know, that people are too small to get help. No, I don't buy into that. If anything, I think those people could probably use more help. In fact, in a way, it's kind of fun and maybe even easier because there could be some quick wins that you might not have realized that could actually make a big difference for you. That might not take a lot of time, so I'm kind of keen on doing it. Let's see here. While in LA at Knott's Berry Farm, they have the Boysenberry Festival going on. I've never been to Knott's Berry Farm, and I'm thinking about maybe trying to go. Now it's down like crazy as my internet is out. Most I've had 800 subs in a day and 70,000 views. Mighty Mapper, wow, that is some phenomenal growth, I gotta say. All right. So yeah, let's take a quick look at Darbys Racing. Darbys Racing. That can't be right. You had an image. Don't think I'm getting you. Let's try filtering it by channel. No, it's this one. It's the third one. So, looks a little competitive for the name. So, that's something to keep in mind. You know, it's early in the live stream, but I think I'm already going to hit the Tums. Acid reflux is a pain, let me tell you. I got a hiatus hernia, which sounds really bad, but it just means that part of your stomach is not where it should be. And that means you get acid reflux like a mother. So I'm always within arm's reach of some Tums. Don't worry, it's not stress. All right, let's see here. Hi, my name's Lee, or Darby to my friends. Welcome to my channel. I created this channel through the love of sim racing. And looking at your profile picture. So, Some things here. Your profile picture is cutting off the text of Darbys Racing, so I would suggest removing the text. There's also a cropped sort of subscribe thing in the bottom right-hand corner. It's not clickable. It's not fully viewable. I'd remove that too. The aspect ratio on the car looks a little funny, so maybe check the aspect ratio and then zoom in just a little bit more on the car, because it'll be clear that it's car racing of a kind. And I think that would do better for you. Hopefully, if you have the source material for that image, hopefully that's relatively easy to do. If you don't refer to yourself as Lee in your videos, then I would drop that part and just like say, welcome to Darbys Racing for the love of sim racing because a lot of those words you've got there otherwise are extraneous. I harp on it a lot. Welcome to my channel. Nobody is searching those words on YouTube. I hate to break it to you. It's not helping SEO. People go to a description so that you describe your channel, not so that you kind of introduce yourself by shaking their hand and saying hello and welcome to my home. You can do those things in your videos. You can do it later, but you want the very first 2 sentences of your description to be as descriptive as possible, so people don't have to investigate to find out what you're about because they're lazy. They won't do it. 5 videos, 35 subscribers. Let's dive in. You may notice that my YouTube is a little different than yours. I've got premium to avoid ads. It's kind of nice to have, but it doesn't help your channel. I'm also in dark mode just because that's the way I prefer it. And because actually, a dark mode uses less power for one thing. So I don't know why everything doesn't have a dark mode. And also it's just easier on the eyes, I find. And I also have TubeBuddy installed. I'm logged in today as Small YouTubers Boost. So I have the TubeBuddy, but I only have the free version. So I'm just going to be showing you the free functions of TubeBuddy. There are 30 free tools in TubeBuddy. If you don't have it, I don't know what you're doing. At least get the free version. 30 tools for free. I couldn't help people effectively without it. And that's why I have it linked below. Affiliate link, yes, but the video's not sponsored. If you decide to get the paid version, go to the Facebook group, Small YouTubers Boost. Watch out for imposters. There are a few. Go to the one. I've got the link here on the live stream. You can follow that. You can type that into another browser window. Look for the group with 81,000 plus people. Ray R is the admin. You found the real authentic thing. Check the announcements. You get a discount code, save you 20% on TubeBuddy if you decide to get the paid version. But today I'm showing you the free one in action because why not? So that's why this might look a little different because sometimes that confuses folks. So you got popular channels module on the right hand side. If you go here, you click edit channel layout, you can add another module where you recommend other channels. I highly recommend you do this. The algorithm rewards people who uses all the different tools of YouTube. As well, it builds good will in the community. It shows people that you support other creators, and if it's within your space, you're supporting that local community as well, or the sub-niche community, I should say. As well, it's again more data so that YouTube can kind of understand what you're all about, because popular channels means that YouTube doesn't fully know what you're about yet. When the algorithm gets a good sense of what your content and your niche is about, that will switch over to related channels, and that's when you know you're doing some things right by the algorithm. So okay, you got some some uploads here. You said you didn't have many videos, so that's fine. Not going to dive too much into that. And you got some playlists here, so that's good. Just keep growing that. The biggest thing you can do to help your channel is putting a video out. I think that the banner's not bad. My thought is that you do have an opportunity sort of in the bottom center of your banner where it's just kind of the road with the vision blur streaks. You could probably put the words Darbys Racing in there. If you pick a font that you want to use consistently, I recommend Bebas New or Bebas. It's spelled B-E-B-A-S. You can Google it and download it for free. A lot of the big YouTubers use it, partly because it's free, partly because it's nice, blocky, easy to read, and partly because it scales really well at different resolutions. So that's what I've been using on Vacation Impossible recently. I do recommend it, but whatever works for you. And that way you could brand it a little bit more than a generic image. Also, I see you don't have any social links, so I recommend sign up for a Twitter account, sign up for Instagram, whatever you can think of, just so you can lock down Darbys Racing as a username. Other people are using it, so try and get it if you can, so that if you become popular, you won't have the problem of imposters, or rather, if you do have the problem, it'll be harder for them to try and trick your audience into thinking they're you. And then, you know, you don't have to use it right away, but one day you might want to get on Twitter to do something. You might want to share something on Instagram. So have it there and put a couple social links in there just to complete the filling out of the channel. Again, adding functions helps with the algorithm, and it just looks a little bit more professional. Let's see here. I live in the UK, the northeast of England, near the famous town of Newcastle upon Tyne, home of Newcastle United Football Club and the crazy TV show Geordie Shore. I work full-time and have a large family, so uploading videos is quite hard, but I will do my best to make my content enjoyable and as frequent as possible. I'm still learning both video editing and gaming, so with your help, I would like to become better at both. Hopefully you will like and subscribe to my channel to help me learn and watch me grow in confidence and content. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to watch. It's much appreciated. I hope you'll come back again. Until the next time, have a great day. That's not great, just to be brutally honest. And hey, you're a small channel, so, you know, relatively new at it. If your videos are not about where you live, then don't mention where you live. If your videos don't talk about United Football Club, then don't talk about Newcastle United Football Club in the About page. These are the things that confuse the algorithm. I thought you're a racing and a gaming channel. Why are you talking about football? Why are you talking about, you know, Newcastle? Why are you talking about a TV show? And so that is like a bit like a dating profile. It's like, here are my interests. But if if your channel's not just about you and your life, what some people call lifestyle, and I hate the label lifestyle. That's just a personal thing with me, but it is a word that is basically meaningless to me. It's like, oh, you know, it's the clothes that I wear. Sure, that's a style channel. It's about the things that I do. Okay, it's a vlog. You know, like, lifestyle. Lifestyle is like a way, it feels to me, and this is just my personal opinion, it feels like you're trying to glam up the fact that it's just you doing you. And so just call it that. Why do people call it, I don't know, lifestyle to me is not descriptive. Anyways, and I don't think that's what this channel is about. So like you mentioned gaming, which I presume, you know, it's like in-game racing. So talking a bit more about that would be good. You can also add your email in a way that's semi-masked. That way, if one day a company wants to reach out to you, maybe an app, like a mobile app developer has a racing game they want you to try out, they'll give it to you for free. You know, if you make a video reviewing it or something, you never know. So have a way for them to contact you professionally is a good idea. Take a look at Channelytics. This is a TubeBuddy tool, and like I say, this works. You get the full functionality of this in the free version. So why don't you have it if you don't? So yeah, no links there. The tags you're using: gaming, sim racing, gameplay, short reviews. That's cool. Generally speaking, small YouTubers should go for the long tail keywords, the longer ones. So anything you can do to have like longer versions, like sim race gaming, sim race game, sim race game review, stuff like that kind of builds it out a little bit. Though those keywords will be less competitive. They will also have less popularity. Admittedly, you can have both. But because it's less popular, it's less competitive, you could own that particular term, begin to grow a small audience from there, and as your audience grows and you get more views and watch time and subscribers, those things give you algorithmic advantage, then maybe you can compete for the smaller things with that behind you, with that working for you. Little thing with TubeBuddy, whenever I go to this, the subscriber thing almost never loads. You got to toggle it to another thing and then back to subscribers, and then it'll work. So there you go. So, you know, you've had some relatively steady subscriber growth here, which is pretty good. You had a spike in views on March 29th. Everybody guess with me now. I bet a video came out on March 29th. Am I right? Let's see. Let's test the theory one more time. Yeah, there we go. March 29th. So that proves it yet again for like the millionth time. If you're sitting there asking yourself, what should I do today? Like, weekend's coming. Let's say you don't work on the weekends. You got Saturday and Sunday off. What should I do to become a bigger success on YouTube? What should I do to make my channel better? Should I go caption old videos? Should I look at my SEO? Should I get that TubeBuddy thing Ray kept talking about? Put out a new video first. The biggest thing you can do you know, on any day to improve your channel is to put out a video. Whoever you are. I'm not talking to just Darby here. I'm talking to anybody listening who doesn't see it this way. The biggest thing you can do to help your channel is put out a video. Biggest thing, every time. I would say don't do more than one a day. So put out the video first, and then for the rest of your day, if you have more free time, then do those other things. Then go get TubeBuddy. Then look at your channel description. Update your channel tags. Go caption an old video. Maybe check the tags on an old video. Maybe design a new thumbnail. Go share it socially on Reddit or somewhere else. But the very biggest thing you can do every day is put out a video. So, you know, when I do these live streams, it's not the first thing I do. The first thing I do is I put out a video on my primary channel, Vacation Impossible, if I'm able to. With that particular channel, I've realized that uploading between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. is sort of the sweet spot where a video has its best chance for success. So if I'm not able to upload and then socially share it in that window, then I'll probably wait for the next window of opportunity the next day. But that having been said, if it is a day like today where I do have that time available, that's what I do first. Then I come and do like you know, a live stream or some other things on this secondary channel. So anyways, once again, we see it here. And so the video on the 29th caused a viewer spike that was not replicated previously on March 23rd or later on April 8th. So two questions. One, how is that video different? Do you think that the video was the thing that, like, was that video is different from the other two in some way? Was it a better quality? Was it a different subject? Did it have better keywords? You can go look at the traffic sources on individual videos, see where the traffic came from. Or, and that gets us to the second question, it's kind of a nice segue, how and where did you share it? If the video on the 29th you shared, you know, in a Facebook group and on Reddit and on Twitter, but maybe the other two videos you only shared on Twitter, then that tells you something. That tells you, oh, hey, more success if I share it on, you know, Reddit or Facebook or whatever. And the way in which you shared it brought viewers. So it's not just where you share it, but how you share it. You could just drop a link, and there are groups out there that allow that, not ours. You know, or you could write like a little description. You could just copy the title and use that as a description, potentially. And even though the title might display in the preview, putting it as text, for one thing, is more likely to get approved to post in Small YouTubers Boost Facebook group, but also, you know, people might read that and not look at the preview. So you could do that, bare minimum. But maybe you took some time and you're like, no, I'm gonna entice people here. I'm gonna write a good headline. It's like, you know, copy editing or whatever. I'm gonna write a, you know, a click-worthy headline, not clickbait, click-worthy. Bait is the lure that the fish, you know, and so bait is a lie. Bait is the fish thinks it's getting dinner, but the fish becomes dinner. And that's why I don't like clickbait, because the bait word is specifically referring to a lie. You use someone as bait because you want someone to come and try and get them and not get them. That's what bait is. You know, or like, you know, when fishing, yeah, they get a little bit of that food, but they also get dead. So I don't like clickbait. I like click-worthy. Earn the click with accuracy and a little salesmanship. Not a bad thing. So maybe, what was it that? Was it the thumbnail? And so if you really want to be, and this is not just Darby I'm talking to here, if you want to be, you know, really successful on YouTube, these are some of the things you want to look at. You know, maybe dive into click-through rates and things like that. You could do A/B testing using TubeBuddy or the new beta thing for YouTube. A lot of possibilities there. So anyways, slightly lighter touch. Every time I share on Reddit, I get banned. A Mighty Mapper, I feel you. I joined some travel subreddit. It might have been travel, I don't remember. But there was some travel subreddit I joined a couple years ago, and I was reading through the rules before I posted anything because I wanted to be a good actor. I wanted to behave. Yeah, today's you've got a pep in your step today. Yes, I like to think I do. Yeah, and the Vacation Impossible video today was cruise ship classes. So if you want to know about the different classes of cruise ships, I got a video out about it. But anyway, so I go into this travel subreddit, and they had they had a couple of rules, but one rule said, don't share anything that you yourself did not create. So, like, don't steal content, kind of. Don't promote other people's content for some reason. Okay, that's a rule I can follow. No problem. I just got to remember it when I'm there. Fair enough. The second rule, don't self-promote. How in the hell do you do those two things at the same time? Do you just never share anything? Because then they should just have a rule, like, don't share anything. How can you share something that you created and not be self-promoting at the same time? No earthly idea. And so I shared something, and 13 seconds later I was banned. I never stood a chance. Do I blame myself for that? Not much. I could have found a better subreddit, I suppose, that had more, friendly rules. But honestly, I blame them for having bad rules. Rules that contradicted each other and created this Venn diagram of suck where you couldn't do anything. So, yeah, don't feel bad about getting banned on by subreddits. I almost wear it with as a badge of honor. I only have Instagram and Facebook. Cool. So link to the Instagram. If the Facebook is your personal Facebook, I would recommend against linking it. But if it's like a page, then do link it. That's my advice. Or if you maybe created a group around your channel, that as well is fine. Turn to show them the logo, then sip the drink. It's like what is American Idol, where they got like the cans of Coke and the Coke logo is always perfectly visible, or whatever sponsor they've got that day. Okay, so let's see who's next. Peak Time Racing. We've chatted before. I'm not sure that there's much I'd be able to do for you, but happy to answer any questions or whatever request you might have. Yeah, Achilles got banned from the Anthem subreddit. Fortunately, the mods were awesome, and after I messaged, they were like, okay, you're back in. Oh, that's nice. Well, and that's one of the things, like, through the Small YouTubers Boost group, is, like, sometimes we mute people, and sometimes they'll message us when that happens. We generally mute people because they did some link dropping. They commented their link on another person's post that was not asking for links. And so we'll mute them, and we get different kinds of responses. Sometimes people just wait for the it's a 24-hour temporary thing. There's no permanent effects. So sometimes they just wait for the 24 hours, and then they go back to posting, and hopefully they learn something. Maybe they figured it out. Maybe they're like, because that's the idea. It serves two purposes, the mute. One, it's to prevent flood spam. So we don't want somebody commenting and us have to go in and delete 100 different comments. And the other is to kind of try and prompt them to take a look at the rules. Oh, I've been muted. Maybe I should check this group's rules. We only have 4, so hopefully it's not too complicated for people. But every now and then they will send me or one of the mods a message. And it normally goes one of 3 ways. There's one where it's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I didn't realize, maybe the post was ambiguous, but I'm really sorry, I didn't mean anything by it. When we get something like that, I'd be kind of like, hey, okay, I'll unmute that person, because it served its purpose. It stopped them from flooding all the posts with the same link, and it prompted them to look at the rules and realize what was amiss, and so I just unmute them early, and everything's fine. We move on with our lives, our hopefully very successful lives. And then there's the second scenario where they're like, hey, why was I muted? I don't understand. So then I just take a moment to explain the rules. I say, well, generally it's because somebody comments a link without being asked. It's a little spammy. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I didn't realize. I didn't read the rules, even though they're posted in like 3 different places. And hey, fair enough. People are busy. And life is complicated. And so then, again, I will probably then go and unmute them early. I'll be like, oh, it served its purpose. They realized it. They're not likely to re-offend. And then there's the third one, which is probably the most common. F you, buddy, and your stupid rules. Why did you mute me, you jerk? You muted me for no reason. All this kind of stuff. And hey, we're human. We might have made a mistake, but you can come in apologetic, you can come in curious, or you can come in like a dick. What do you think I do with group number 3? Depending on how bad it is. I mean, if they're abusive and harassing and, racist or insulting or sexist or something, then I will ban them, which it escalates the problem for them. Or sometimes I can talk them down off the ledge. But, if you're gonna go after somebody, cool. Darby, glad that was helpful for you. Also, if you want, this live stream will be rewatchable. Depending on how long we go, there's a processing period after the live stream ends. But then after that, it is rewatchable. Somewhere between 20 minutes to 2 hours after the broadcast ends, normally is when it becomes available. So, cool, you took notes. That's kind of awesome. It's kind of flattering that my advice was worthy of keeping notes on. But if you want to go back and rewatch it, you absolutely can. So there is also that option. And that applies, of course, to anybody who's watching. So anyways, yeah, if you're having to approach the moderator of a Reddit, a subreddit, or, of a Facebook group or whatever, maybe think about the approach. Will I be apologetic? Will I be curious? Or will I be angry? And the fact is that anger is less likely to get you the outcome that you want. So be strategic, be smart about it, be tactical, is my advice. if you find yourself in that kind of situation. Haven't heard anything from Peak Time, but I imagine that he's probably doing very well. So that's good. Who else do we've got? WarioCraft. Article 13. I am not well versed in that. I have a political science honors degree, but I haven't studied that particular issue in depth. So I don't feel like I can speak hugely intelligently about it. Some of the things that I've picked up here and there is that it's going to take them about 2 years to implement it. And often in those situations, the devil can be in the details. It's entirely possible to have a law that can be draconian but not enforced. I wouldn't count on that by any means. If it's something you feel strongly about, the EU is made up of democracies. So 2 years, there could be time for elections, petition, recall campaigns, different options, writing to your local representative. And so probably talking to your local representative is probably more effective than asking me, to be honest. I mean, I don't want to send you away. Maybe wait till the end of the live stream and then go pop off an email or a letter or go walk down to the local constituency office. But, you start at the lower level, going to work your way up. But those are some of the things that you could possibly do. There's also efforts where there's, I'm sure, online petitions, probably a change.org petition somewhere. There's probably Twitter accounts you could retweet and like things that way. But honestly, it's contacting your local politician is probably the most effective way, if you don't like it, to get it changed. Other than that, to find out more about what it's about, you're probably going to want to talk to somebody more from the region. As a Canadian, I'm somewhat divorced from that. I mean, not to be completely selfish, but the impact to me immediately isn't huge, in the sense that most of my audience is North America, and I don't want to make that sound like I don't care, because I do. It's just that I am incredibly busy, as I think are most of us, that we kind of have to focus on what we do. Like, I haven't done my taxes yet. I've been meaning to upgrade my cable modem. I've got the new one, but it's been sitting there for weeks. And I'm sure my connection would be better if I got around to that. But instead, I'm live streaming. I could be reading about Article 13, but instead I'm trying to help you guys. And so it's important, and I don't mean to take anything away from that, but unfortunately I'm not an expert. If at some point I have the time to educate myself better, maybe I can provide more value there. I don't know that I'm the guy to do that right now. So just trying to own my own limitations. I already talked about what my next vacation is. And did you hear about the NCL ship that was on the news last year? What for? Cruise ships are on the news oftentimes. It's often not good. Norovirus outbreak or some ships slamming into docks and things like that. It's incredibly rare, and it's exceptionally rare on Carnival, I would point out, which is one of the reasons why I cruise Carnival. They've never lost a ship, like Carnival Cruise Lines, where it says Carnival on the ship. Costa did lose the Concordia, and that's owned by Carnival, the parent company. But I'm talking about specifically Carnival Cruise Lines is who I am loyal to, because they take safety very seriously. I wish they took their environment a little bit more seriously. Not thrilled about how that's been done. But, yeah, so WarioCraft, I don't know if you have any other questions or requests. Hey, Angus, welcome. Finally got around to watching a video or two of yours. It was good and funny stuff. I liked it quite a bit. What was that line? And I think I commented it. It was like, what are the British great at, apart from running an empire? I was like on the bus. I laughed out loud. Somebody looked at me. That was a great line. So anyways, let's see. BMW video. Oh, is that what your banner is from? Is the BMW video? Anyways, doesn't look like I'm hearing from WarioCraft. So let's see who's next. And, if WarioCraft or Fridays speaks up, I'll be happy to kind of circle back. The Jaden Mayhew, I'm probably saying that wrong. Are you still around? Do you have a request? Would you like a channel review? I could look at the tags and description of a video. I could show you a tutorial, answer a question. Happy to do anything along those lines. When I said I was temporarily stopped from commenting for 24 hours, you never answered me. Was there a question? And I get a lot of Facebook messages. I do not have Facebook Messenger installed on my phone because otherwise my phone would never stop vibrating. and it would be totally unusable. So let me see if I can find Big Boon's YouTube channel. Let's see here. Okay, I did respond to your initial message. You asked me if I was the admin of the group. I said that I was. And then you said, what was this? Okay, awesome. Hope I didn't break any rules. I noticed I wasn't able to add comments to the group. I'm able to now, but won't to avoid this in the future. Where did I go wrong? Sorry, I didn't realize there was a question because there's no question mark in your message. And also because you said that you were now able to comment again, it didn't look like there was an ongoing issue, but I didn't. I read it quickly because I get lots of messages, and the lack of a question mark made me not notice that you were asking a question. Yeah, because you said I am able to now, but won't to avoid this in the future. Where did I go wrong? It was hard to read, and so I thought that you figured it out and you would avoid it in the future. You're just letting me know. So, anyways, the Small YouTubers Boost Facebook group has just 4 rules. And so they are, number 1, no breaking any of YouTube's rules and or policies, including, but not limited to, sub for sub or selling views, subs, and channels. That's not what you were doing, because those result almost always in an immediate ban. As well, I mean, if you're breaking Facebook's rules, we'll basically do the same thing. Because, you know, Facebook will get you eventually anyways. But I like to think that kind of goes without saying. It's because you're on the Facebook platform. You're on the Facebook platform. You're agreeing to Facebook's terms and conditions. So that's our rule number 1, basically, is don't break YouTube or Facebook's rules. Relatively straightforward, I think. We have had the odd person who is doing sub for sub. We got banned, messaged me, said, I had no idea that wasn't allowed in the group or on YouTube. I'm so sorry. I figured it out. I know it now. I won't do it again. And then I let them back in. Because, we're all about educating people. And I mean, that is not my preferred way of educating people by having to ban them from my group. But, I got the message across. And so maybe by stopping it, maybe they'll not lose their channel. It's not a bad day's work, I think. The second rule is no bullying. So like no sexism, no sexual harassment, no racism, no personal attacks, stuff like that. You can critique people's content, but not their character, not themselves. No, don't make it a personal attack. And even then, when you are critiquing the content, the way that we like to look at it is try to be constructive. Now, for me, there are 3 pieces to constructive criticism. I do have a video about it on this channel. It needs to be specific. So, you suck, not helpful, because for one thing, it's not specific. If it's like, hey, your banner sucks, or the colors you're using in your logo suck, okay, it's specific. We're still not at constructive criticism. The next thing is it has to be suggestive. It has to give you somewhere to go. Hey, your banner sucks. Have you considered using, a picture of you? Have you considered a landscape? Have you considered zooming out? Something like that. Okay, there we go. That's constructive. That's helpful. That gives them somewhere to go. It gives them an idea. It could be like, hey, the colors in your logo suck. Have you considered using blue? Oh, okay, that is now a suggestion. Now it's mostly constructive. It's like 90% of the way there. But then there's one other little piece, part 3 that I want to add now, because then there's people who say, well, I told you to change it and you didn't. So what's the point? Well, just because you give the suggestion doesn't mean they have to do it. And that's the third part, is you have to do it with no expectation of anything. So not that they're going to do it, not that they're going to pay you to redesign it for them. That's happened to me. I was in a podcasting Facebook group, and I had recently updated my logo, and it's like some people were like, oh, hey, it's better, but it's not all the way there yet. Here's some suggestions. That kind of thing. One person even was like, here, I mocked something up that might look better. You could do a more professional version of this. That was very nice. But the vast majority of the comments were just saying, oh, it looks like you made that in Word. And it's like, well, no, actually, I might not be the greatest graphic artist in the world, but just telling me it sucks gives me nowhere to go. It's not specific. It doesn't make a suggestion. And then there were people who were crapping on it and then conveniently offering to design me something for a nominal fee. So they were like nagging me to get business, which was not cool. And there were so many of them that I actually ended up leaving that Facebook group because it was just it was people were crapping on each other so they could sell them solutions, which was all horrible. Like, that is just toxic. I don't want to be a part of that. And again, I don't think that's what you were doing. Rule 3. When you're making a post, it has to have a description of what it's about. That's normally a big thing that happens. We don't generally mute people for that, unless they kind of are tricky. Like, they might write like, oh, hey, my videos aren't doing very well. And so I'm like, oh, I'll approve that post. Then they'll go in and edit it and add their channel link. We might mute for that because you're trying to avoid the rules. And when you try to avoid the rules through private message or editing a post, we normally up the penalty, the discipline, whatever you want to call it. And so normally, if you don't have a content description, we just reject the post and that's it. But because somebody sometimes tries to get around the rules by editing or sending it in a private message, then we'll probably also mute them for 24 hours. Or we might ban them depending on how bad it is or how frequent it is, if it's occurred a lot. And so then rule number 4, don't post a link on someone else's post unless they were asking for links. And that's predominantly where we mute people. And that's what I was talking about earlier, is to prevent flood spam and also hopefully to clue people into the rules. So I apologize for not responding to your question, but it wasn't clear to me that there was a question, no question mark, and the grammar on what you were writing was not really clear what the intent of what you were asking was. And so I do get tons of messages. Since I've started this broadcast, I've received I've got messages from 5 more people on Facebook just since I've been live. I've been live, well, almost an hour now, so that's not that bad. But yeah, if somebody is messaging you every 20 minutes, that can become your life's work, which can be a bit much. Let's see here. Oh, okay. The best group you've come across. Thank you. That means a lot. I really appreciate that. And I mean, honestly, coming from someone who's recently been muted, that speaks to your character as well about keeping an open mind, because a lot of people just react so negatively to that experience. I'm trying to think of better ways to do that, but we only have limited tools that Facebook gives us. But anyways, I really appreciate that. That means a lot. And it's your birthday and you were sharing a post with no description. And that's the thing. There's no consequences that last beyond the mute. So, because we understand it takes a while to figure out how our group works. I like to think our group is somewhat unique. I try to make the rules simple and easy to follow and non-contradictory, but it takes a little while to figure out the feel of our group, and that's totally fine. So if you've been muted, as long as it doesn't happen more than 3 times in like a 3-month period, there's no lasting consequences. Tomorrow we will not remember that we muted somebody. With 81,000 people in the group, we couldn't possibly. And so, yeah. And also I think it's just good strategy as people who are sharing content, as content creators, having a description of it when we share it to entice people, it's just good practice generally. We don't want to be paternalistic and tell you how to share things, except maybe in our group with regard to just the 4 rules. Let's see what we got here. So yeah, a lot of people not necessarily making requests, but that's okay. We'll keep going through the list here. Yeah. Mighty Mapper 123. What are your thoughts on Article 13? I already addressed that a little bit. I use YouTubers' music. Okay. How's your growth? I think I responded to that. There's also the growth of small YouTubers boost, this channel, which is kind of interesting. We'll go to Socialblade. I'll just show you how Socialblade works in detail, because I jumped straight to my channel. So when you go to Socialblade, in the top right-hand corner, you can enter the username and the channel name or the URL, and you can get it for like Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. The Instagram functionality has been a little messed up because Instagram locked down their API. Daily Motion Mixer, that kind of stuff. And so in this case, we're just going to search Small YouTubers Boost. I have that auto-completed because I do this every now and then just to see how this channel's doing. I would like to grow this channel to a greater rate of subscribers, because when you get 1,000 subscribers, one of the things it does is it unlocks community posts. And I think I would kind of like to use that, because I could be posting some tips and I could be posting pictures and polls in that area. And so I do want this channel to hit 1,000 subscribers, because I would like to unlock that functionality, because I think we could use that to further help folks. So the growth on this channel, not as great as Vacation Impossible, but this is my secondary channel. Vacation Impossible is my first love, and so it's, you know, it's doing okay. We just had on this channel the best month for views and the best month for subscribers ever, so that was very nice. So it's ticking along. For some reason, Socialblade hasn't populated the channel type. And I've been using education as the video type consistently. That's how you get that populated. So I think I'm going to have to submit a ticket to get them to check that if I want that updated, which, I mean, I'm not sure how much I care about that. But that's just the other thing, the other growth I could talk about. My growth is down at the moment, says Mighty Mapper. Well, let's check you out if you don't mind. See what you mean, because like language is a tricky thing. English is not perfect, and it can be ambiguous a lot. Like sometimes we don't know we're being asked a question. And oh, that's interesting. There seems to be 2 of you. Huh. 1 subscriber, 61 views. I assume you're the first one. Right, yeah, because some of the things you were talking about your rate of growth and stuff. So let's take a look there. But sometimes people say, like, I've lost views. And so that can be ambiguous. Oh, B+, you're doing better than me. And that is 30,000 subscribers. You got memberships enabled then, and Teespring integration. So that's awesome. You know, I knew you were doing well, but that's great. 6 million views. That's fantastic. At it since 2014. That's cool. What was I talking about? I get distracted by your numbers. Oh, yeah. So people come into the group and they say, I've lost views. And that can mean a couple of different things. And so my first couple comments are often clarifying questions. I can't get to helping them right away. I gotta find out what the hell they're talking about first. I gotta ask. I gotta clarify. So I'm like, okay, are you saying that your view count was at like 500 and dropped down to 800? Or are you saying last week I got more viewers than I got this week? More views? Is that what it is? And so the language is ambiguous. And so like the view count decreased, or my rate of growth or my rate of viewership has declined. So that's sort of one of the questions, because you can't have views taken away from you. YouTube periodically audits views to see if they're authentic, and it's not perfect. I had a video where I was on the Carnival Sunshine, and it was a great video before we wrote our music, so content ID match, but whatever. I was still very proud of the video. You know, my son's in it. He's actually pretty funny in it, and so it was a really good video. I really liked how it turned out. And Darbys Racing is subscribed. Thanks. I want to try and automate some stuff. I think I'm going to have to go... I'm using OBS Studio. I think I'm going to have to go to Streamlabs because I want to automate like notifications about that kind of stuff, because I think it's kind of cool. Shout people out who subscribe during the live stream. I think, why not? Unless people abuse it, because if they subscribe and then unsubscribe. But I don't know, screw those people. Anyways, so I had this video on the Carnival Sunshine. I was really proud of it. My son was in it. It was very funny. I thought it was a really good video. And so I sent it to a friend of mine who works in an office. And she shared it with everyone in her office. And she'd never really done that before. So I was flattered, because it was like, oh, she must have thought that this video was better than the ones she didn't share, or for whatever reason. So she shared it with her office. I was like, oh, that's so nice. Thank you. And I got, within an hour, like 100 views. And back then, that was a lot for me. And so the view count went up to 100. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. And then, like, the next day, it was sub 100 views. And I was kind of scratching my head. And you can even see on Socialblade, sometimes the daily viewer, the monthly viewer amounts, you might get a negative. How's that happen? And I thought about it. I did some research, and I think I figured out what happened. Because it was watched in a short period of time by 100-odd people in her office who all had very similar IP addresses, because they watched it all at work, each individually on their computers, it probably looked like artificial activity. It probably looked like a bot farm. It probably looked like it was being faked. And so I lost my 100-odd views, which sucks because it was authentic. And it was, you know, somebody who I'm close with sharing it and all that kind of stuff. And YouTube, you know, kind of took that away from me a little bit. And so that was frustrating. And that's when people say, I lost views, then I try to share that story so that they know that maybe it's not their fault, that the algorithm does the best it can. YouTube is huge and complicated, and so Alphabet and Google and YouTube, they're trying to manage it to their best ability. I don't think anyone's twirling a mustache in the back room saying, we shall screw Ray today. We shall take this away from him. There's no villain of the piece. It's just the way the technology works. It's less than perfect, but it's not bad. It's what we've got. And so I try to provide that context by sharing that story so they know that it doesn't just happen to them. And, you know, it's one of those things like, you know, you can't get upset at the rain, you know? It's a little bit like that. You can get a little annoyed at Google for not having figured out their auditing process better. Or you can get mad at like the Russian bot farms that make them need to do things like this. But ultimately, it's just, you know, you kind of got to let it roll off your back. It's part of your growth and evolution as a YouTuber. It's like the first hate comment you get. Are you going to be upset about it? Or are you going to be like, hey, I got an interaction there. That's really nice. they want to kill me, but hey, I got a comment. That's my approach. It's like, hey, I got a comment. That's cool. Generally speaking. Sometimes it annoys me a little bit, but I try to stay positive. So, but if it's like, oh, you know, I'm not getting as many views as I did last week, last month, last year, last video, whatever, that's a completely different conversation. Then we talk about like, okay, how did you share it before? How is your recent video different from that? How long has it been since you published a video? Are you using TubeBuddy? Are you sharing it on social media? Do you have end screens, info cards? I can list 100 different things off the top of my head that could help that person. So what is my conversation about, right? Or did they buy views? They were like, I paid a guy in India $1 and he was supposed to give me 50 views and then they went away. And it's like, well, then don't do that. Learning opportunity. Don't commit fraud and you won't have that particular problem. So, you know, the language is a little tricky there. So you had an amazing December. That's 1.46 million views in December. 11,500 subscribers in December. That's awesome. And you know, if you want to have a month where you do very well, December is probably the best because, you know, CPMs are high. They're trying to, you know, they're trying to sell to last minute shoppers. Or earlier in the month, not necessarily last minute, but shoppers of all kinds, whether it's for Hanukkah or Christmas or New Year's, you know, maybe they're selling a dress sale for New Year's, so many different things, selling turkeys, butterball turkeys for the holidays, whatever. It's, you know, it's a huge month for retail. And also a lot of movies come out then, Star Wars, sometimes Star Trek movies, other big, you know, blockbusters come out on Christmas Day, so there's a lot of advertising push behind that. So there's a lot of things. Car companies are trying to clear out their lots because of accounting reasons over like model years. And also they're aggressively advertising because nobody's buying a car then. So in order to sell any car, you got to really get people's attention. And so there's so many reasons that CPMs are really high in December. A lot of companies, their advertising fiscal year might also be the calendar year. And so they say like, hey, we've got 10 grand in our ad budget we haven't spent yet. Let's go do it. Or they could be looking at their sales figures, their targets, and saying, my performance plan was to get us, you know, 1 million hits on the website this year, and we're not there yet, and my deadline's in a couple of weeks, I'm going to get in trouble. Maybe it's time for an ad push to achieve the metric. So there's functional real reasons, like holidays and things like that. People have time off, and so, you know, people are trying to get your money on your time off. You know, come to our attraction, whatever it is. Come to our store. And then there's artificial reasons that are tied around accounting and goals and things like that. So whatever you want to tie it to, December CPMs go cha, and then in January they fall off a cliff. For movies, for example, January is known as the dumping ground for bad movies. Now, bad as defined by a company projecting what they think it will do at the box office. So it doesn't necessarily mean the quality. Some movies have done very well. I think like Cloverfield came out in January. They thought it wouldn't do well. I love Cloverfield. But no, people aren't necessarily seeing a lot of movies in January. They might be under a mountain of crushing debt from the holidays. You know, the stress of the holidays might have made them sick. The weather isn't great. They might just want to stay home. They just got a bunch of stuff for Christmas. They might just want to play that video game they got at Christmas time. And so January, CPMs take a dive. And that's one of those things is like, don't beat yourself up over CPMs, because do you control any of those things I just talked about? Not really. And CPMs can adjust for a lot of reasons. For example, if there's an election in your area or in any area that's watching your videos, then obviously there could be election advertising that could push up CPMs. So there's so many different factors that go into things like that. But generally speaking, December is the time. Like, you look at Cinemassacre, and he often does his 12 days of something-muss. Trying to keep it PG here. He did that a couple of years. He did like the game box things, and so he was putting out like 12 days of videos. Vlogmas is a thing for some people, not so much me, but other people. And so why in December are people putting out all this content? You know, he had this great Cinemassacre, Angry Video Game Nerd. He did this great thing where he had Macaulay Culkin on for a couple of different videos. They did like a James and Mike Monday together. He was in an Angry Video Game Nerd, which was hilarious. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. He's awesome in that. Although he has black nail polish on, and I'm like, what is that all about? Anyways, I don't understand the black nail polish on dudes thing, but that's just me. I'm old, and I don't get it. Although, I don't know, I'm probably around Macaulay Culkin's age, so I don't know that excuse holds up. Anyways, the point is like, why are they producing giant videos in December when everyone's at the mall? Why are they producing Vlogmas, a video every day? Because the CPMs are high and you make more money that way. I mean, maybe that's not why. Maybe it's the season and they like it, or people have time off, and so maybe they're more likely to be able to view it. I'm ascribing motivations that I don't know. But it's something to think about. But anyways, the point is, you had a great December, and so assuming you were monetized for that December, that must have been pretty nice, I would imagine. So that's pretty good. And then, yeah, it looks like there's a drop-off. So, I mean, obvious questions. What kind of promotion did you do in December? What kind of did you produce a lot of content? Where were you sharing the content? What communities were you engaged with? You can look at your traffic sources to see where they were coming from. Maybe there was a particular video that was blowing up, or a trend at the time that was recommending a lot of your content. That can be hard to recreate. And that's one of the things, too. You want to talk about the language and people saying, oh, YouTube took something away from me, or I lost something. There's a lot of YouTubers who are like, they find success and they're doing great, and then they're like, YouTube screwed me over. And I'm like, tell me more. And it's often something like, well, I wasn't getting recommended anymore. And it's like, okay, so you were consistently winning the recommendation lottery, and then you stopped winning. It doesn't really feel like they took something away from you from a third-party perspective. And smaller YouTubers kind of get salty about that. I try not to, but I do. I'll own that sometimes. But the thing is like, it's like, oh, well, you lost your YouTube privilege. You know, it's like, oh, so the algorithm stopped helping you. The algorithm, you know, hasn't helped me much, or, you know, whatever. And so, you know, sometimes that can be a factor with those things, and it's important to understand that we don't control those things, so, and we can't count on them. You know, it's weird to talk about in this venue, but Machiavelli, I have a political science degree, I got to bring it up every now and then. He said fortune is fickle, and we covered that a lot in third year. I remember in one of my classes, classical political philosophy, and they were like, what does he mean by that? And my interpretation, I took it into a whole different place. I think I wrote an essay or something on it, and basically the idea is that fortune, so luck, the future, is fickle. It's unpredictable. It has mood swings, or it's random. You know, whatever you believe in, what, you know, law of probabilities, you know, the neutrinos are not spinning your way. For those of you who watched that one particular Deep Space Nine episode. So luck can change on you at any time. A platform can change at any time. It owes you nothing beyond keeping to its own rules. But it doesn't owe you free promotion. It doesn't owe you free traffic. And so if you have it, that's great. Ride that wave. Do everything you can to build on it. Use that opportunity. Get those people. Make them subscribe with notifications. Get them also to follow you on another platform so that you've got security in case YouTube goes kaput and they're following you on Twitter. Then maybe you can start doing Periscope or some other thing. Whatever it is. You know, do those sorts of things. But when your luck runs out, if your luck changes and you're back to not having the good fortune, then be prepared for that. Because fortune is fickle. It trends and people, their tastes move, the algorithm gets adjusted. And so, yeah, if you've got it, enjoy it, ride it. Don't think it will stay at that level forever. I mean, look at your traffic sources. Whether you're getting 10 views a week or 10 million views a week, I think it's a good idea to look at your traffic sources at least, I don't know, every now and then, once a month maybe at least. See where the traffic's coming from. Because if it's coming from recommended, understand that there's a risk there. You don't control it. That could disappear at any time. As well, if it's coming from search, less of a risk, but still the risk. a little bit. If it's coming from like homepage, notifications, things like that, not necessarily reliable. If it's coming from third-party social media stuff, then maybe realize, oh, hey, that Facebook group is actually getting me a lot of traffic. I should behave myself there. I should add value there. I should appreciate it. I should invest in it and be, whatever it is. So you understand where is your traffic coming from, and what's the associated relative risk to those sources. How much control do you have over it? I don't know. It's something to think about, regardless of size, I think. But you have an enviable level of success here. And so, I mean, my channel, which I've recently, Vacation Possible, I've recently got up to an average of 4 subscribers a day. Oh, like, that's pretty awesome. You're averaging 39, doing very well. Average of 10,000 views a day as an average. So that's pretty good. One of the things you can do on Socialblade, you can check detailed statistics. That's where you get more of a daily impression of how things are going. So, for example, that big December burst seems to have begun actually in the end of November. I'm seeing November 27th is when the rise began, and then it seemed to fall off around January 1st, 3rd, in that range. So it's definitely a very strong December. I mean, that was good. How do you recapture that? Go into your analytics, narrow down on that time frame. What were people watching? What video were they on when they subscribed? Although that has been a little glitchy lately, but hopefully they fix it. Your traffic sources, things like that. Is it recreatable? Is it not recreatable? Is it something that might, like, you could look at your last December, your previous December, that's 2017. Yeah, 2017 was not huge. So it is not necessarily, it might not be a seasonal thing, or maybe like your channel has evolved since then such that December could be more seasonally opportunistic for you. And so maybe it's possible that every month that is not December, and I'm not saying this is the case, but let's just say maybe, mental exercise, mind thought thing, English language speaking words. Maybe what if your Decembers are always going to be great and all your other months are just not going to be great by comparison? Be strategic about that. Have a lot of content planned to come out in December. How can you really leverage it? Things like that. And I mean, that's almost a worst case scenario. So, some peaks and valleys. Daily views kind of hovering around. So that's kind of interesting. Maybe you had a collab or something. Daily battles. 329 uploads. That is definitely a healthy number. Respect there. Just going to tap back into chat here. See what else is shaking. Now, it's down like crazy as my internet is out, so I haven't been able to produce content as much. That is rough. That's hard. Why is your internet out, I'm curious? Is it something going on in the region? Is it a financial thing? Is it just a technical glitch that they're taking too long to fix? Do you need me to help call them out on Twitter for you? I'll go retweet you if you're angry at your cable company. I don't know. I mean, I can't help with problems like that beyond doing something like that. Be interesting to see what you think of your channel. I'd love to see a first impression. Okie doke. Let me just make sure that any of the other people didn't respond that I had asked a little earlier. Oh, you explained on your latest vid. Okay, well, if I find myself having the time, I might go check that out. Achilles, I want to hit 3K by next year, so should be fun implementing race advice and getting there. What if you're Santa? I like that. Yeah, I actually, I don't know if he's going to do it, and it's okay if he doesn't, but I actually wrote Achilles a script for a possible channel trailer. But one of the things that I want him to do is, he's a gaming channel, and so I was helping him rewrite his About section, which I'm happy to help people if I can find the time to do that. And so one of the things I was asking him is, like, I was asking about his why, and he talked about, like, he was talking about his personal history with gaming and how, like, the first game he ever really played a lot of was Pitfall. And so I was like, dude, you got to go back and replay Pitfall. If you haven't touched it in like 30 years, you got to go do it. I would watch that live stream. And so my idea is that if I can get him to do it, come on, do it. Do it. Everybody in chat, tell Achilles to play Pitfall. Because then I think he can do a channel trailer that will at some point talk about how that was one of his first games, and then he can use some footage from that playthrough in the channel trailer. And so I think that could dovetail. I think you could do like a live stream, then do a highlights where you cut it down to like the 5-minute best parts, and then you can include it in your channel trailer. You play one game and you use some of that content 3 times. That's not a bad workflow if you ask me. Mighty Mapper 123 got a cool logo. Can't really read the 123 so great, but that's all right. Yeah, okay. The about page here, your channel description needs some work. I mean, I feel a little strange criticizing somebody who has like, 30 times my subscribers, but what the hell, you're here for advice. And you can totally ignore my advice as much as you want. That goes for everybody. So anyways, why hello there? Go into your analytics, check YouTube search, see what search terms are driving people to your channel. If if it says why hello there is getting traffic to your channel, I want to say eat my shoe, but I'm worried that I could be wrong. What would I do? What kind of dare would I be willing to do? I don't know. I will. If it's true, I will dress up in as Batman for my next live stream. There you go. I'll do that. But I bet you it's not there. Hope I don't come off too cocky on that, but honestly, I'm just trying to make the point that it's not searchable, it's not helping your SEO, and it's not describing your channel, and this area is supposed to be channel description, so don't do it. Welcome to my channel. I have ranted about at length. Again, if you're getting traffic off of the phrase "welcome to my channel," I would love to see a screenshot, and I will dress in a funny costume for my next live stream if anybody's got that. That's like legit and doesn't look photoshopped. My name is Sam, but everybody, dude, you've been in the group for a while. You're very successful. I love you. Happy to have you around. I don't know what your channel's about, dude. I've got a profile picture, a channel name, a truncated description, and I don't know what it's about. I mean, Mighty Mapper. Mapper makes me think of like Warcraft 2 back in the day and designing my own map. I once designed a map that was so tedious. It was a multiplayer map. It took 48 hours to complete. I'm oddly proud and of it, and I feel exhausted just remembering having done that on a 56K modem. That connection, 33.6 maybe. I remember when I got my 33.6 modem and everybody else was on like 14.4 or 28.8. I was like king of all, but I had nobody connect to at that speed. So they were all like envious of me, and I was like, yeah, there's like 2 BBSs I can connect to using that speed. What do you freaking do? I didn't tell them that because I mean it was high school, and I'm like, yeah, I'm the man. My secret life of mediocrity. They didn't need to know. So anyways. I got that. I got my free TubeBuddy plugin installed here, so I do see most used tags: Army Men, Battle Simulator, Kids Toys. Well, that tells me something, but most people don't have that. Most viewers don't have that. And of course, the video results coming up, I'm seeing Army Men. I'm seeing some awesome thumbnails. No wonder you're getting some really good traffic there, because your thumbnails are on point. I got I got no advice for those thumbnails. They are solid. That's great thumbnails. Can't say enough good stuff about that. But the beginning of your channel description, Mighty Mapper 123 is all about the Army Men. Say that at the beginning, at least. There you go. I rewrote the first sentence for you. Say that instead of why hello there. It'll help with SEO. It'll describe your channel. People will see it right away and they'll know what the heck you're about if they happen to discover you in this particular way. Admittedly, not a whole lot of people, but again, as small YouTubers, and even with 37,000 subscribers, I think, anyone less than 200K is small, in my mind. Because 200K, I think, is the moment where if you haven't considered quitting your day job, that's the moment to start thinking maybe you can. Maybe. Before that, I wouldn't think about it, honestly. But that's sort of, for me, that's where the definition of small gets murky, for me. But we welcome all sorts. PewDiePie could show up. I'd welcome him in chat. I don't care. But anyways, so I think that... get every viewer and every subscriber from every nook and cranny that you can. And here's a nook and cranny that I think is being a little tiny bit neglected, if I could be harsh on that. Okay. Cool beginning of that video, but wow, I am like, how long have I been going? I've been going nearly an hour and a half. I haven't mentioned the rules of this live stream yet. It's in the description below. Most of you guys know it by now. I don't subscribe to any channels while I'm live because I don't want chat to become people trying to convince me to do that. And I don't watch any videos for content ID match reasons. It takes a lot of time. And I don't want people thinking I'm trying to host or steal their content. So there you go. That's why I paused that video. But the little bit I saw looked cool. Green Hawk down. Okay, that's kind of cool. So looking at, you know what? I'm going to do this live. We're doing it live. I don't like that guy. But anyways, looking at your banner, I can't imagine that it looks great on mobile. I just can't. It's a beautiful banner, which is part of the shame of it. But I bet you, I'm just going to go right now. I'm going to YouTube on the phone. What? Come on, phone. Get it together. It was Googling YouTube, not taking me to YouTube, even though I typed youtube.com. Okay, I'm going to search Mighty Mapper space 1, 2, 3. Click on the channel. Oh, it's scaled. It didn't crop. Well, hot damn. I mean, I don't know that you guys can see this well, but actually that looks fine. Getting some glare from my ring light. Can't angle that right. Anyways, the banner looks fine. Wow. Okay, what about the app? I don't mind being proven wrong. I mean, hopefully don't make me look like a jackass. Now I'll try it in the app instead of the mobile browser. Mighty Mapper 1, 2, 3. I'm getting like an autocomplete. Somebody's messaging me on Instagram. I can't tap where I want. I hate when notifications block where you want to tap. Ugh. Phone design. Alright, finding the channel. Yeah, here we go. So, you'll look here on the mobile app. God, that looks horrible. You can't see that very good, can you? Let me block the light, but not the... it's no good. Maybe if I shut off the ring light. Can you guys... No. Okay, you can kind of see it there, right? So, it's cropping off in the middle of the orange army man on the left, and it's cropping off part of the word daily. Looks like Dale. You can see that. So that's what it looks like in my Android app. Sorry for the blurriness, but I wasn't really prepared to do this. I'm just on the fly here. And so that's something to think about. And so I love your banner. It is bright, it's easy to read, it's colorful, it's friendly, but it's not working at all resolutions, which is a shame because it is so good. So here is my advice. One of the things that I do sometimes talk about, even though you make it look so good, because it looks great, but you do have the icons for Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook there, and they're really dynamic because the Facebook is behind the grass, and so that looks really nice, and I like the sort of the 3D modeling of the edges. It kind of makes it look, you know, three-dimensional, like it pops. While all of that looks nice, they're not clickable, and you do have the clickable links off to the right. So my suggestion for those would be to either remove them or move them far off to the side, because that is some prime real estate there. And one thing to think about is, let's say you're treating this like a business, and a lot of people do this for fun, so no value judgments there. Entrepreneurs and hobbyists all alike are totally welcome, but you know, pushing the Twitter, the Instagram, and the Facebook, ask yourself, what is my primary platform? One of the ways as an entrepreneur you could ask yourself that is, what platforms am I making money on? Are you making money off Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook? If you're not, but maybe you are making money on YouTube, and if that is a goal of yours, it's absolutely fair if it is. Do you want to drive somebody from the monetized platform to the non-monetized platform? Do you really want it to be central to your banner? I'm going to bring up my prop again. Think about the funnel. Entrepreneurs out there, we talk funnels. How does this work? This is all of your different opportunities to draw in an audience, to make them go over the edge and in. Okay, think of like all of the ridges around the funnel as your various social media accounts, right? And you're on a bunch of platforms. Maybe you're on LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and all that stuff. But where do you want them to go? Hello. Where is the small point of the funnel, right? So you want to drive the people along and to here. Where is here? What is the goal? Where do you want your audience to spend the majority of their time and end up? And they get their value here, and you extract your value from them there if you're an entrepreneur. So what is your funnel point? If it is drive it all to YouTube, then on YouTube, don't push too hard. Don't try to push people back up the funnel. That is not how water slides work. If you try to go back up the water slide, you're going to have a bad time. So that's part of it. Whether it's driven by, you know, hey, my best content is on YouTube. Maybe it's not about money. Maybe it's just that's where I want to engage people. Maybe I love video as a media to express my art or myself, or my personality. Whatever your reasoning, have this conscious understanding of where your funnel is and where do you want to drive your traffic to, and then consider that, okay, that's the goal, so that's sort of the end point. Don't drive them away from the end point. So I would still keep the social links. Let's operate under the assumption that YouTube is like home base for you. That's where you want your traffic. So you could remove those three things as good as they look, or move them to the periphery so they only show on certain devices. But that is prime real estate. It's also worth noting that your actual logo, which is awesome by the way, although again the 1, 2, 3, not super legible. If you moved it up instead of between the two M's, and you could increase the font size there, or maybe underneath, I think actually underneath would maybe be better, because then it would pop against the gray of that part of sort of the ice caps of the world. I think that would look better. But it doesn't look like your logo is actually centered. It looks slightly off-center, slightly to the right. I don't have OCD. I got tested, but I think I have tendencies. And so for me, I'm like, it's so close to center, but it's not center. Make it center. That's just me. It's a style thing. But, you know, if you remove the social things, you center that up a little bit. Just looking at how it appears on mobile. Then you could move daily battles in a little bit. You might need to bring the font size on that down a little bit just so that the whole word appears. From a design aesthetic, I would also suggest moving daily battles up a little bit so it's slightly more centered. But maybe not, because it kind of works with the grass. I don't know. But make it so that on the mobile app, it cuts off after the S. So the sideways exclamation mark and the Lego guy will only be seen on other devices, but not necessarily in this app. And then, yeah, the Army Men of War... If that could be, because yeah, you could move that center a little bit too if you take out those social links. But even then, that might be kind of hard. But right now, on mobile, it's N of War. Even if you just move it 2 letters in, maybe the army doesn't display. But at least then you're not cutting it off mid-word. And so then it's Men of War. So at least that's something. And you got the army men underneath it. So, like, even that might be enough, because I do really, really like your banner. The logo pops. The text is easy to read. And I don't want you to lose any of those dimensions, because that's solid, and it's obviously performing for you. But those are just some small tweaks so they could be a little bit more device-friendly. And if you're not convinced of the need to do this, look at your analytics and see what platforms and devices people are watching your content on. Because the mobile people, they might be mobile browser, which scales nicely, but they might be in the app. Probably more likely to be in the app, I think, on a phone. I don't know. But that might tell you how important that is. Let's see, what else do we have going on here? Check out these guys. Related channel. Related channel. Well done. Popular uploads, that's cool. Again, thumbnails on point. If I were to have any criticism of the thumbnail... on like the second and the fifth one, the second and the fifth one to display, there's the logo that's like war, which I guess Men of War 2 looks like Assault and Sound. That's probably not what it says. Obviously that's not super easy to read. Now I'm thinking that's the logo of a game. So what can you do about that? For one thing, in those 2 thumbnails, it's not right up against the top or right up against the left. So you would have the opportunity to just make it a little larger. You could do that old Photoshop trick of putting a rectangle behind it. So in front of the background layer, but behind the logo layer, just to make contrast pop a little bit more. If you wanted to, that might make it a little easier to read. Or maybe ditch the logo. I don't know. You could do some A/B testing on that, see what works better for you. Because, I mean, you can clearly see, you know, there's the army man saluting and the other army men and stuff there. So it's clearly that, but maybe people want to know, oh, what game is it? Is it specifically, you know, Men of War 2? Or, like, if that's helping the click-through rate, then maybe keep it. And again, these are popular uploads, so I'm tempted not to mess with them at all. You don't want to ruin any algorithmic momentum that you have. But they are a year old, these 2 videos. If they have stalled, if they are getting you less than 100 views per month, then maybe play with them. But if it's generating more than that, I'd probably leave them and not make changes. Because when you change up the thumbnail, even if it's a subtle change, YouTube doesn't know it's a subtle change. They'll be like, whoa, guy changed it. What's this all about? Stop everything. Hold the presses. We got to relearn about this video. And if you have momentum, it could ruin it. If you don't have momentum, it could restart momentum. So just generally speaking, in terms of editing thumbnails, titles, descriptions, try to only do that on videos that are no longer performing for you. And I think 100 views a month for small YouTubers is a good metric. Yeah, Army Men of War Series 1, Series 2, popular uploads. You might want to have an uploads line just for your recent videos. You could do that. That's the playlists. Playlists look good. I want to take a look at something, though. Everybody look. There is a very nice description of the playlist. Nicely done. I included, forget to do that often. Playlists have descriptions. Use them. A lot of people don't. Ooh, community tab. I'm curious how you're using it. Merch. I'm pink. What you gonna do about it? I'm blue. What you gonna do about it? I'm tan. What you gonna do about it? I'm purple. There's definite consistency there. Interesting kind of... Yeah, okay. Interesting stuff. So you're hyping some stuff about like future things with some maps there, which, I mean, Mighty Mapper makes good sense. Announcing a giveaway. That's cool. Interesting. I have the community tab on Vacation Impossible. I'm still trying to figure out how to use it, what is effective. So this is me teaching myself now. This is me being selfish for a moment. Like, oh yeah, and you're asking, you got a poll question there, 700 votes, so pretty good interactions. I was looking through my channel, realized that these days, weeks not upload. That's cool. I like that. So looks like you're using that relatively well. Most recent thing was just in the last week. You got Teespring integration. That's cool. You got the About page here. So yeah, there are these line breaks that you've put in through text, almost like ASCII art. That looks fine in this display, but as you saw earlier, in search results, not great. So you can use those breaks, don't use them so early. Use them on the third or fourth line, but not in the first 3 lines, is my advice. So fourth or fifth line, maybe. Yeah. So, like, everyone calls you mighty. I think you could do something there where you could... Because, again, I'm all about, like, I love the beliefs and the why things. I love it when people talk about that. And I think a lot of... It works really well from, like, a marketing strategy. And so I'm thinking if you're like, I believe that indie games are mighty. I kind of like that. I don't know. If it doesn't work for you, don't use it. But if you want to, go ahead. I'll give you free permission. Put it on a t-shirt and make $1 million. I don't care. Maybe remember me when you're famous. And you're on your way. But like that might be kind of a cool slogan. And that might be like, I believe that indie games are mighty. And then you could. I think that's a strong, solid belief statement to launch with. Because and then people instantly know that it's about indie games. But you got that word mighty in there, which helps with the SEO alignment for your name. And then you can start citing examples, Men of War, Assault Squad, that's what it was. Okay. Men of War, Assault Squad 2 is one of the best games I've ever played. Go from there. Something like that. That's kind of cool. You have a Discord community here in your About page. And you also have it linked socially. I assume that's the same thing. Same link, probably. Ooh. Oh, no, wait. Oh, no. That's working. That's working. Okay. Just looked funny. So anyways, I would take that away because it's not clickable. So someone would have to highlight it, copy it, paste it, or type it out. When you got the link up on your banner, you got the link down below. I don't know that it's doing anything for you. It's interesting that you mentioned the computer that you have, so that's kind of cool. I'm going to go look at a description of one of your videos. Because I am curious if you're doing a thing. Worst internet provider update vlog. All right, yeah, you did say that it was about, your video talks about it. Okay, I really want to watch that, but I have a rule. Oh, why do I have rules? I'm using TubeBuddy, the free version here, to see how your tags are ranking. And now I know this is an unusual video for you. It's not generally what your content is about. However, I see here that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 tags. I don't believe that that's 500 characters, so there's a lot more room for more tags there. Even the free version of TubeBuddy, affiliate link down below, will give you 3 suggestions. And here's the thing, here's the trick, how you can kind of game it. It's a little tedious, but it's every time it loads. And so you can get 3, load them, like add them, save it, refresh it, it'll get you 3 more. Bit of a trick. I don't know if that's cool. Hopefully TubeBuddy's not upset at me for telling you how to do that. It's tedious. I think it's easier just to pay the monthly thing and get a bunch. You know, I've got I'm showing you on the free version right now, but on Vacation Impossible, I've got Legendary, so I go whole hog. I got screens and screens of suggestions. It's great. Sometimes the suggestions aren't good to use. Sometimes there'll be only a few, but I'll see it and I'll be like, oh, that gives me an idea. And so sometimes it's just like sparking the creative juices flowing. But that's interesting. You're ranking number 2 on worst internet provider. Not bad. Not bad. And of course, Mighty Mapper. But I think you could do more. Quick update because I need to rant. Okay. Let's bulk up that description, man. I know this is not your primary content. This isn't how you want to become popular. But every video is an opportunity. You know, and I've used the metaphor before that YouTube is like a lottery. And you don't buy tickets, you make videos. Each video is a ticket in the lottery, and they're constantly drawing numbers. So that video might, that video's number might come up in 5 years. You never know. And so let's give it every opportunity. And so that is a very short description. And you know what? Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Your title, worst internet provider. You have a tag, worst internet provider. You're ranking number 2. I almost would bet, but I'm not going to bet. It's an expression. As an expression, I would bet that if you put worst internet provider in your description, that 2 will turn into a 1. I can't guarantee it, but I think it's incredibly likely. You want to rank number 1 or number 2. It might not be the video you care most about, but why not? Just do it. Throw that in there. And you know, you've got tags here. You know, Vodafone Internet. Okay, it's in your tags. It's not in your title. Fair enough. It's not in your description. There's no excuse for that. Being a little harsh, but whatever. You're popular. You can take it. If this is the worst thing you hear all day, you're having a good day. So you should, put worst internet provider. A quick update because I need to rant. My Vodafone internet has just been horrible. These are bad providers. And really bad customer service. And what did I just do? I just wrote a description for you. Feel free to use it. That includes all of the keywords that you have on this video that aren't currently there. Bad providers, Vodafone internet. Bad customer service. Oh, I didn't include bad luck. Just say, I have some very bad luck when it comes to these guys. Boom. That's, another sentence. And you've got every single keyword in the description. And I bet you doing something like that, you're more likely. I mean, if you're ranking 2 on worst internet provider, then there's some strength behind this. I mean, admittedly, it's also the title. And so, like, the title often you'll do better. But given the kind of subscriber base you have, the kind of views that this has, the kind of interactions that it has, nearly 2,000 views, nearly 200 likes, all of that, working for you. 52 comments, like, the engagement on this video is high. Relative to, my experience. So if you were to do those things, you would probably start ranking. Could you imagine if this video ranked, even if it ranks 19 on Vodafone Internet? Maybe not Vodafone on its own, because that's, it's one word, but Vodafone Internet. Even if you rank 19, you know what kind of traffic that would probably drive? I'm thinking quite a bit. Like, I'm going to click on this here. TubeBuddy's going to bring that up as a keyword explorer. And okay, it's poor. Worst internet provider, though. What's that going to say? Fair. All right. But still, even, like, it's probably poor because of the competition, not the volumes. Search volume is very high. But competition's very high. But worst internet provider. Competition is moderate. So you're able to win on moderate at a 2. So even if you were to, like, come in at a 19 on a high, that could drive some traffic. Admittedly, not your usual kind of content, but views are views. This could be an infection vector. that, it's like tabletop board gaming, which is something that I enjoy quite a bit. And how do I, if I want to get, there's a friend of mine who I enjoy, hanging out with. They're a lot of fun. They're funny. I would like to introduce them to board games. How would I do it? I find a board game that kind of gets them in through the side. It's like a quick little, zombie dice is great for that, or Suro, or Ticket to Ride's a great infection vector for board games. Get them to play something like that. Don't start them off with Star Trek Catan. Don't start them off with Pandemic. Ease them into it. And so this is easing them into you and your content. Even if most of your content's different, it's your personality, and it could be like, oh, hey, oh man, this guy's getting screwed by his provider. I want to help. I'm going to go check out another video. And maybe that other video gets them in because, oh, I love Army Men. I didn't realize he did that. Oh, he had an Army Man in the video. I should have figured that out. Okay, boom. And there you're growing, right? Or even if it's just getting views on this. I know I have premium, so I no ads, so I don't know if this video is monetized or not, but could generate revenue. Even if this video is a standalone success that doesn't support your channel in anything else. The fact that it gets more views could get you more money, and also the fact that it gets more views, it gives positive signs to the algorithm. So do it. No info card, no end screen. Info card. Here's the kind of content I would be making if my internet wasn't down. Info card. There you go. I don't know what the images are like towards the end here, but if there's a space where you wouldn't mind losing what people are seeing, maybe the top, one of the corners, you could put a little video that they could click to another video, keep them on your channel, keep them watching. And again, I'm looking at the best practices here for my Videolytics. Again, TubeBuddy, get it if you don't have it. It'll remind you to do these things. And so even if people don't click that info card, they don't click the end screen. As long as it doesn't annoy them, and I don't think it would. It's common stuff on YouTube. It's generally accepted. It signals to the algorithm you're doing everything you can. It hasn't been shared on Twitter or liked on Facebook yet. And I'm not seeing any upvotes on Reddit. No comment has been pinned. You got 52 comments. Find one that you like and pin it. It gives a notification to the person, so it gives them a reason to come back, watch it again, interact again. More views, watch time, and interactions potentially based on that. Or they just see it and they're like, oh, he pinned my comment. That's very nice. I'll remember him maybe. I don't know. Or just to hack the algorithm, so that you show the algorithm you're doing everything you can. Here's how I pin comments. I go and I sort the comments by newest first. Then I go to the bottom. I go to the oldest comment, and I work my way up. And so let's find a comment that would be good to pin. You should switch to T-Mobile. Yeah, you can pin that maybe. Face reveal. Wait, does that mean you're not going to make any more Army Men video? I assume you replied to that. You didn't reply to it. I mean, I don't know how busy you are, but go and reply to comments as much as possible. I mean, you liked this one here. Have you tried turning it off and on again? So it was enough that you gave it a love. Yeah, I'm going to give that a thumbs up on that comment. So go in and pin that comment. That's a good one. Just to check the algorithmic box, if for nothing else. But again, that guy's going to be like, oh, you pinned my comment. I commented on Roberto Blake's video earlier today, and I got a notification that he loved the comment. I commented on both of my channels because I felt from the different perspectives I had different things to say. And so one of the things that he's talking about, what platform should you use to support your business? And my comment was from Small YouTubers Boost. I said, you should find the platform where you give people the most value. And he clicked love on that. And I get the email notification. I didn't click through it. I just read it. And I was like, oh, that's nice. I like that. It's like in Pokemon Go. It's like your friendship level increased. It's like my appreciation of him increased a little bit. Even though I know it's doing things that help and support his channel and stuff, but it's still nice. It's a nice thing. So do that. Let's share the. And I mean, hey, if you're having problems with your connectivity, maybe you're not able to do these things for those reasons. But share this video in our Facebook group. There are gonna be people who identify with what you're going through, and so why not share it in Small YouTubers Boost? Let's see, have you shared it anywhere on Twitter? Why not? Yeah, you haven't. So here's what you, oh no, it's still loading. Okay, no, it's not there. So here's what I recommend you do. There is the Small YouTubers Boost subreddit. I've created it. It's got 50 some odd subscribers. I think that's what they call it on Reddit. And what I've tried to do with that is create a safe sandbox that you guys can play in without fear of being banned. I mean, the same rules apply from the group. So if you sub for sub, maybe I'll have to go figure out how to ban people. But as long as you don't do that or harass people, you'll probably be fine. Just put a description. I'm having click. You can go here and you can click share. You click share. Click on the Reddit logo. Go share it in a small YouTubers Boost thing and just type out, I'm having problems with my internet provider. There's a description. And so then it'll be on Reddit. I'm sure there'll be people there that'll identify with it, get an upvote. That'll help. How about on Twitter? Have you shared it on Twitter at all? It's not on Twitter. People are going to identify with this problem that you're having, so share it on those places is my advice. If you don't have TubeBuddy, get it. It'll help remind you to do these things. Geez, that's not even why I came here. I was curious. I came here to see if you were using Amazon affiliate links to sell your things like your computer, because you describe your computer in the About page, and so I've never done that. I'm thinking about maybe trying it, if for no other reason than just as a learning exercise. So I'm thinking about doing 2 companion videos, one on both channels. I'm thinking of doing one on Vacation Impossible and another one here on Small YouTubers Boost, because my computers are getting old. I have a Surface 3 for my tablet, and I have a Haswell chip in my PC, and I think it's time to replace both. So what I was thinking of doing is doing a buying a video. Buying a tablet for travel and putting that on Vacation Impossible, and then doing another video about buying a computer for editing and putting that on Small YouTubers Boost. And then maybe just as a learning exercise, I'll sign up for Amazon affiliates, put some links on both videos, and see what happens. That's something I'm thinking of doing in the not too distant future. So I mean, if you're talking about the equipment you're using, it looks like you and I have the same pop filter, but we have the same microphone. I would show everyone, but I don't want to kill headphone users. We're using the same microphone and pop filter, so hey, we're microphone buddies. My keyboard and mouse is not nearly as cool as yours, so I've got my can I get it up there? My little cheap HP mouse of shame, and I have my little my keyboard where I don't know if you can see, but the letter A is almost completely rubbed off. So my keyboard and mouse isn't so cool, but hey, we're microphone buddies. So anyways, I think it's getting towards the point where we're going to be wrapping up the live stream. I just want to check what I've missed in chat while I was doing all that stuff. Explain that, you just said it. Make maps and map editors. I'll check your channel. Oh, that's very nice of you, Big Boons. Hopefully I'm saying that right. My #1 search and description. I had no idea the description affects SEO. It does. I don't think a lot. I think it's a small thing. But again, to be successful on YouTube, it's not about one big thing. It's about 100 small things. And so let's get all the small things together. Never heard the funnel theory. Cool. And it's relatively new to me too, and I haven't done much research about it. I just I joined a couple entrepreneur groups on Facebook. I ended up leaving them because it was a lot of business speak sales stuff. Everyone was selling you an ebook or a course. And I was like, that's not why I'm here. But it was interesting because they kept talking about, oh, this is my funnel, or oh, I'm monetizing my Facebook group as a funnel and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, I didn't really dive into it. I just kind of intuited what I figured that meant. So my interpretation might not be the official one. It might not be mainstream, but that's what I was guessing what people meant. So I run a series. Stay mighty. I like that. That's kind of cool. Sorry for recommending somebody else, Ray. Brian G. Johnson helped me learn a lot. Yeah, no, I don't mind that. I'm not too concerned about that. I mean, I keep talking about Roberto Blake just because I really enjoy his presentation style. But yeah, there's video creators. There's Tim Schmoyer, who I initially started watching him, and then I eventually discovered Roberto Blake. And they say similar things. And Schmoyer's not too bad either. But I like Roberto's style of delivery a little bit better, so I find him more engaging. Brian G. Johnson, there's Nick Nimmin. There's so many other people out there. There's Creator Fundamentals, who actually he started off in Small YouTubers Boost. He joined us there, created a couple of videos, and he just had explosive growth. I don't know if he's in the group anymore, but that guy blew up really fast. And good on him. These are all people who are resources that can help you, and so I don't mind recommending and sharing that. That's fine. Certainly in chat. Maybe not so much in the comments, because like that feels a little, I don't know. I don't know why it feels different, but it does. I guess it's because I get so many comments in both of my channels. It's like, come check out my channel. And I know it's not your channel, but it feels a little spammy there. But, you know, that's fine. I don't want my providers to find out I slandered them. Yeah, you know what? That is a fair concern. That is a fair concern. And that's the thing. It's like, I always try to tell the truth and the full story. So, like, I am a bit of a Hilton loyalist. I've been gold some years. I've been silver with Hilton since 2010. But every now and then, like, when we were at a hotel in Tampa, Hilton Garden Inn, I think it was, on Avian Avenue, Tampa Airport East. I don't know why I remember all that, but I do. There was an ant infestation, and I filmed it. And the service we got from that specific location, that hotel, sucked. Eventually, I contacted Hilton through Twitter, and I think and they kind of made it right as best they could after the fact. And so I still really believe in the brand. Like, if I'm staying at a hotel, I start at Hilton.com because they're consistently good. But the one bad experience I had to talk about. And so I hope that maybe if one day Hilton would sponsor me, it's never going to happen, but it'd be awesome if it did. But the fact is, the part of it's going to be, I'm going to tell the truth. And that has to be part of the understanding. And so, like, the Facebook group is sponsored by TubeBuddy. And one of the things that when I was kind of negotiating the discount with them, I said, like, look, I need to try out your product so I can speak intelligently and honestly about it. And thankfully, Phil, the CEO, he was negotiating with, super solid guy. And he was like, yeah, no, I wouldn't want you to do anything else. And so that's great. And so I've had people reach out to me and be like, hey, if I pay you $20, will you endorse my Instagram app? And I'm like, well, I'll need to try it out first. And if it's not good, I'm going to be honest. And they were like, ooh, that's not cool. We have a deal here. And I'm like, no, we don't have a deal. We're just talking. And they were like, okay. Well, maybe we'll see. And I'm like, all right, well, give me some access. I'll try it out. I tried it out. The damn thing was broken. They were like, oh, talk to our developers. They'll fix it for you. I gave it a try, and eventually, and so I just didn't do it. I don't care. I don't need the $20 that badly. But I'm going to tell the truth. And so, yeah, that's one of the things. Like Carnival. I do a lot of Carnival cruises. I talk about that on Vacation Impossible. But you know what? They screwed us on the Dream. It's my Carnival Spa Rant video where I just rip into them. And because I got to tell the truth. I like amusement parks. But when things went wrong at Six Flags, I had to show it. And part of me is concerned. Like, yeah, what if they see it as like slanderous libel or something? What if like that poisons the possibility of me getting a sponsorship? I don't know, maybe. But I'm not going to be anybody's shill. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to tell the truth, and it's going to be the whole truth. And so if they want a sponsorship, they got to be okay with that. So yeah, let's see. Oh yeah, Achilles congratulated Roberto on 400K and got some love, and it's nice when that happens. Going viral, you got to play on emotions. That's true. Emotional connection. I mean, when I talk about tell people why you do things, I'm talking about forming an emotional connection. Don't really want to go viral with something like that video. Minimize SEO. A film with a Huawei. I'm not a fan of that company. It's largely owned by the Chinese government, and they do some dodgy stuff, both the government and Huawei. But anyways, there we go. So I think this was a pretty successful live stream. We're creeping up on 2 hours, so I think we're probably going to end it there. So, as always, I like to end these live streams with an action item for you. Something you can do today, right now, that is free. It costs you nothing but your time, helps your channel. So, as I am Vacation Impossible, it's in the style of Mission Impossible. Your mission, if you choose to accept it, Mr. Phelps, is if you don't have TubeBuddy, download it. The link is below. Just even get the free version. I don't care. Paid, free, whatever. Get the free version at least. Install the browser plugin and go look at your last video like I'm looking at this video right now with the Videolytics tool up there and see all that useful information under SEO. Are the video tags in the title and the description? You know, is it ranking? What tags are ranking? What isn't ranking? Have you followed all of the best practices? Have you shared it on Reddit? Have you shared it on Twitter? Click those buttons next to those words that will open it up in Reddit and Twitter. If somebody shared it for you, upvote that share. If somebody tweeted about your video, retweet and like that tweet. Engage with your audience in that way. Make sure you're doing the best practices with the info cards and the pinning a comment and all of that stuff. And just, even if it's just the free version, just do it. It costs you nothing but your time. So click the link below. Get TubeBuddy browser plugin installed. Go look at your most recent video and see how the Videolytics tool can help you. There's also a video here on this channel that talks more about Videolytics and that tool, how to use it if you want to know more. Thanks very much for watching. I have a secret. I have a surprise. I haven't told anyone yet. It's the month of Fridays, right? April, I'm going live every Friday. I'm going live Sunday too. Not every Sunday, but this Sunday, 2 days from now. So tomorrow I'm going to be having a video where I'm going to be talking about some promo box developments with Vistaprint. But Sunday, I'm going live again. We're going to do this all over again. But obviously with different channels, different questions, different tutorials. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you can also join us on Sunday. I don't know what time it will be on Sunday, so subscribe with notifications on so that you get the notification. Join us early in chat. The first person to speak in chat is the first person that gets their request in. And then we go from there. So this has been a blast. I really enjoyed doing this. Thank you so much for being here. And I just hope you go out and just crush the hell out of YouTube today. Thanks for watching, everybody. This live stream will self-destruct in 5 seconds.